everybody, peace and harmony here with you here today. How to handle the narcissist or psychopath. I've done previous videos on this topic. However, I'd like to expand and expound on some of these coping techniques, as I find this might be some very valuable information for you. For one, the narcissist or psychopath, they are going to try to steal your thunder. They're going to try to get underneath you. They're going to try to have you distracted by things that they say that are designed to push your buttons, disturb you, and assign inaccurate motives to your behavior, to your values, to your intention. In other words, they will say things like, you're too clingy with the kids, even though you're just, being a good parent to them. They'll question you why you need to do certain things when it's essential to your everyday life. Their goal is to make you doubt and live in a sort of guilty, fear-ridden state so that they maintain control over you and that you become stopped in your tracks. So this is a very hallmark quality of them. They will try, and that's part of the brainwashing, that's part of the gaslighting, where they try to confuse you of your every, natural good intentions, which are natural, which are in your natural flow. It's a natural part of your authentic being to be close to your kids, to contact them, to call them, to be there for your neighbors. Just these natural sort of experiences. They try to they overperceive. They have a huge tendency to overperceive or assign negative qualities to one's behavior that aren't really there, that aren't really present. So be very aware of this and be very aware of their tactics. So once you acknowledge their tactics, you can disarm them. So basically take the arrow out of their quiver, so to speak, so they can't be throwing these at you. So they can't be firing these bullets at you. They're going to try, but just let them bounce off you, like as if you have a shield, and just, think of them lambasting, throwing these sort of accusations at you, these negative comments, these overperceptions, these misperceptions. Remember the consciousness from which it's coming from. The consciousness from which it's coming from is from one that's designed to kick you out from under your knees and have you fall over. It's just how they are. Don't take it personally. You happen to get a huge dose of this sort of treatment from them, but they do it to quite a number of people, and they do it behind people's back. There's a lot that you don't even see. Chances are what you're experiencing is just the tip of the iceberg with them. So think of this as, as like they have these arrows that are sitting in their back, in like a quiver, which is like a holder for the arrows, and they're just ready to ping, ping, ping at you, okay? They're just basically, they've got all this ammunition, which they've built up, which they've, carried through the years, that they're just going to try to, hammer you down. Certain things that you're pride about, things that you're pride about, your authentic self, the accomplishments that you made, the good qualities that you have. They're going to go after all of these. I mean, this is just how they operate. This is just what they do. Don't take it personally. This is how these people manipulate. And you're just now being to see it. And so, realize that, and you're now no longer going to be a victim to it. So that's the excellent part. That is the great part. That is the awakening and realization part. So think of it as like these arrows that they've just stored up, that they're just firing at you, bing, 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 and you now have a shield. You now have, go to a museum and look at the cavalry. Remember the cavalry? If you go to your local museum, or look at pictures of what was it, in the medieval times? I mean, seriously, these people used to fight on horses, and they used to have head-to-toe armor. I mean, these guys would have, armor over their feet, over their legs, over their torso, over their chest. They'd have these big helmets, and they'd have a shield, okay, and a lot of them had these joster things or whatever those big sword things are called, okay. You now have a shield, okay, that's your awareness. You now have a very thick metal shield, and the arrows are just going to bounce off. It cannot hurt you, it cannot impact you, because you know where they're coming from. Another tool I would, so this is like a mental barrier you need to create between, a separation between you and them. There's no longer a connection, because their connection is one of destruction. Okay, it is what it is. That's just how they operate. And you know, it's more than developing a thick skin. I mean, you don't want to be interacting with them and just, you know, developing a thick skin and being, you know, immune to it. You're still gonna have a sense of feeling, but you know, I want you to be able to take a step back in your mind and just know that you're no longer negatively impacted by these people, because you've seen the light, you've exposed them. And the other technique for dealing with, I want to give you today for working or handling, dealing with the narcissist or psychopath, if you have to kind of see them or be present with them, which of course is the worst, don't let it rile you up, don't let it ruffle your feathers. But if you have to interact with them, for example, if you're living with them or seeing them in some sort of meeting or something, definitely do not have any eye contact with them. You know, just if you have to be present to them, be very systematic. You know, in other words, don't use your normal conversation style with them. Be very routine, robotic, and systematic. And make it as devoid of energy as possible. Not so that it sounds like you're depressed or that you're affected by them. You're coming from an awakened state. You're coming from an enlightened state now, okay? So, and this goes with emails as too. You know, emails as well. You know, if you have to send a response, make it very methodical, systematic, and almost copy and paste your responses so you don't have to keep typing out, because if you have to keep interacting with them, you're giving a little bit of your attention to them, and you need to protect yourself here. So the other thing in dealing with a narcissist or psychopath is absolutely positively not to give them eye contact. Look down at them, look at their shoulder, look over their shoulder, behind their shoulder. You know, not so that it's really obvious that you're looking away. Look at their chin, look at some other place on their shoulder, look, you know, behind their back. Do not connect with them on an emotional level. This will really help you to disconnect from them and deal with them in a nice, indifferent manner, because they've had control of your emotions for long enough. You're not going to be giving them any more of your emotional value. They will continue to prey upon you, and it only gets worse. I mean, it really will surprise you if you stick around with them. I mean, the extent at which they try to dismantle you and like knock you out from underneath your knees. So you have to stay true to your values, love what you love, get it, you know, surround yourself with some beautiful, comforting things that are meaningful and significant to you, devoid of this narcissist or psychopath, and realize that they, you know, you're not letting them steal your thunder, you're not letting them get from underneath you. You have your own life, and it's time that you claim it. Peace and harmony here with you here today. Please share and subscribe for more great tools, videos, and discussions. And have a beautiful day.